everyone, and welcome back to Commander Cookout on YouTube, part of our Kaldheim set review. Remember to check out the Legendary Creature review and the best of the rest parts of our reviews wherever you find podcasts or right here on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, links will be up here, links will be down there. Now, big thank you to FusionGamingOnline.com. They are the official sponsors of Commander Cookout, and don't forget CCO Fusion 5 promo code to get you 5% off your entire order, all your gaming needs, all your Kaldheim needs. Next, big thank you all the Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. We make these videos for you. It's a lot of fun for us, and we couldn't do it without you. Between the lights, the microphone, the rig, the 700-degree studio that we're recording in right now, it's all for you guys. Now, we're on to our the video portion of our Kaldheim set review, and we're going to be looking at the Kaldheim
Precons.
Commander Precons. Yeah, we've got Phantom Premonition and Elvish Empire.
I feel they missed an opportunity to call it Phantom Menace.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Is that copyrighted? Probably not, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Really? You think?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay, whatever.
Well, we've got two Precons. You can package them together at Fusion. You save a little bit of money on them. It's a great way to do it if you are located in Canada. If you're not, we highly encourage you to pick your LGS of choice. Very important to support those right now.
Yes, support your LGS more than the BBS, which is the big box store.
Oh, yeah, the BBS. That's a bunch of BS if you go into those box stores. I like that.
But pick these up. They're a great value this year. They're better than the Commander Legends versions, I would suggest. I think Ryan agrees with me. Maybe not up to the level of the Zendikar ones, but these are still two solid decks with some great cards that you're going to find room for in decks that you already play.
Yeah, very much so. Now, reprints in these, not as good as previous Commander Precons that we've seen in 2020. But we do have 8 new cards, and we're going to brush over maybe a couple of them that go in the Foretell deck, because that's what Phantom Premonition is. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the commandy of, what is it called? Phantom Premonition.
I just want to call it Phantom Menace now. I can't help it. I can't stop.
Phantom Menace it is. Okay, our first commander is Raynar the Ever Watchful. This is a Spirit Warrior 2/3 for white, blue, 2. Vigilance, first strike. The first card you foretell each turn costs 0 to foretell. Okay, so foretell is an ability that for 2 mana, you exile the card face down, and on a different turn, you can cast it for its foretell cost. Now, the other part of the ability is whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your hand and or permanents from the battlefield, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying.
If you're playing the Foretell deck, which is what this is supposed to head, it's great. Is it going to go in the 99 of any deck that you play? Probably not. If you're not playing Foretell, are you ever going to play this card? Probably not. But if Foretell is one of those mechanics that we're going to see coming back in specialty sets, Commander Legends, if they do that again, another conspiracy set, who can say? This is one that might have a little bit more play as new sets become released, which is always exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, doing a quick search, cards that have the Foretell ability in white and blue, there's like 22 of them, and then there's 4 or 5 more that reference Foretell in some meaningful way. So there's not a whole ton of support. It feels like a tribe that's very early in its tribal career, and you have to use every single version of that creature type.
Scarecrows, dinosaurs.
Yeah, and even pirates, like a couple years ago compared to pirates now, or cats back in 2017 compared to cats now. Foretell, while more difficult to reprint than pirates or cats, we could see it like we saw Morph, which it is sort of akin to.
Remember the last time they did an Azorius, like, keyword tribal? Remember the last one?
No.
Of course you don't. It's the one that made the instants and sorceries cost like 38 more mana, and then it brought one of your lands to life. Does anybody even remember that? Because it sucked.
No.
So hopefully Foretell does better than that.
Okay, well, you know what? We've got 7 other new cards. Some of them good, some of them bad. Should we start off with the banger?
Let's do it.
Cosmic Intervention. Ooh. This is sort of like Teferi's Protection.
Shitty Tef's Protection.
Yeah, it even has a similar amount of syllables in the name.
Protection, Cosmic Intervention. Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, so Instant for white 3, if a permanent you control would be put into the graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile it instead. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And, this is probably a knock against the card, it has Foretell, which makes it difficult to reprint.
Yeah. So pick them up now.
Now, at the time of this recording, this card looks to be in the $35 to $36 range.
Which is $10 more than the damn deck costs.
So if you pick this up, you get 99 free Magic cards with it. Because and you'll save $10.
You have $10 and 99 cards. They've paid you $10 to have 99 extra Magic cards.
That's a good deal. That's why we recommend picking up Phantom Menace Precon. After that, I think the next best new card that's included in the deck that isn't in the Kaldheim theme boosters is Ethereal Valkyrie. Give it a read.
This is a cool one. Ethereal Valkyrie is a 4/4 flyer for blue-white 4. Whenever Ethereal Valkyrie enters the battlefield or attacks, you draw a card, then exile a card from your hand face down. It becomes foretold, and its foretell cost is its mana cost reduced by 4.
By 2.
You said the right number, and I said the wrong one. The point is, this card is a damn banger.
Yeah. Essentially, you're discounting your card by 2, and that 2 would have been like the foretell playing it face down, right?
I think that this should have been the legendary that came on the front of the box.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, just then you switch those 2 cards, and then every card becomes a foretell card.
And then they don't have to necessarily reprint foretell, because you can just do it yourself.
Make everything foretell.
DIY foretell deck.
And that could have been the name. Commander Cookout's DIY foretell extravaganza. That could be
such a good episode.
You send that deck in, commandercookout@gmail.com. Okay, final one we want to talk about that's got some buzz is Stoic Farmer.
Stoic Farmer.
And essentially it's a 3/3 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, you go and search for a plains, and if you have less land, you can put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you're not already running Land Tax and Keeper of the Accord, Knight of the White Orchid, and Core Cartographer, then this is your card. But if you have those other 4, maybe stay away from, he's not so Stoic Farmer. He goes into the Foretell deck because he's got Foretell for 2, and then you can cast him on a later turn for white 1, but it ends up being the same total mana cost. If his Foretell cost was maybe just like white, and you could get the whole package for 3, then that would be pretty cool, because you'd have a creature and a land.
Sure. As it stands right now, you get a creature and maybe a land. And F that.
Yeah.
Just buy the deck. It's worth it, and there are some neat things in there that you might find room for, so there's no real reason to not buy it. There is a quasi-white staple in there, so here's your chance.
There it is. Moving on to Elvish Empire. I am actually picking up this deck, so you know what my recommendation is going to be. It's got a ton of new cards that go into my Gak Ball deck, and it also has at least one card that's available only in the theme boosters right in the deck. And pick it up. And again, you can get this deck for less than $25 or $30. Great deal. The commander is Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Why don't you give him a read?
Lathril, Blade of the Elves is a 2/3 for black-green 2 with Menace. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens, and it has tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent loses 10 life, and you gain 10 life. Does that make him Skirk Fire Marshal for elves?
Sort of.
Except shitty.
It kind of reminds me of the tap 5 or the tap 10s from back in the day, like in Onslaught Tribal days. Hey, that was a good-ass time.
Those were good times to play Magic. That's where Skirk Fire Marshal's from.
Yeah.
Tap 5 goblins, 10 everything.
Yeah, that was a cool card. But we also get some stuff like Pact of the Serpent, which lets you choose a creature type, draw X, and then opponents lose X for each of the tribe that you control, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
That's the XXX black spell from this set. There's one every set.
We love Triple X. The movie with Vin Diesel.
Yes.
That's what we meant.
They were fabulous films.
Oh, yeah, there was more than one of them.
5 stars.
3 X's. Okay, Ruthless Winnower, 4/4. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-elf.
Let's say you want to play Shieldred, but your player group hates Shieldred. You can play this.
Or Anawan the Rune Sage, but you don't have any vampires. Because that's what this card is, yeah. Those are a couple of the good ones. I think all 8 of the cards, like the new ones, are actually playable cards in elf decks. That Golgari elf deck that they're pushing is, I think, like a really good deck.
There's lots of stuff here. The Elderfang Venom turns all your elf stuff kind of into an aristocracy type deck, and you've got the Wolverine Riders that just gains you dudes and life, which is always cool and something that Elves wants and does very well.
Yep. And the one that I was talking about that's available in the theme boosters is Canopy Tactician, a 3/3 for green 3 that you can tap for 3. So like it really only costs 1 mana. And then other elves you control get +1/+1. So it's also an elf lord, right?
Of course they do.
Why not?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a Simic card. It's not too powerful, is it? Oh, man. Oh, come on, give Dwarves and Soldiers +1 and give them a bunch of white mana. Jeepers creepers. But it's not all positive. We do have at least one really big criticism of these decks in the form of their mana base.
Because you look at the mana bases of these decks, you never expect them to blow you away, to pin your ears back, to blow your hair off your head, to slap your lips off. And this year is no different. The mana bases are all basically trash.
And we're okay with that except for...
We are totally fine with that except in this set, they printed these really cool snow dual lands that come into play tapped. And what do we get in these precons? Fucking guild gates and gain lands. And that is not acceptable. There is no reason for that, especially in fucking Kaldheim. Give us Kaldheim cards in our Kaldheim decks. Oh, that doesn't make sense. What if people don't know what snow does? Screw all that crap. Okay? They're giving me Ravnica lands in the guild gates. Those are attached to Ravnica. Get them out of here. Get my Kaldheim shit in here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. In general, we'll flip this back to positive.
Hell yeah.
In general, we recommend picking up both decks. They both have multiple things that we think are good. You can build the Foretell deck, you get the Cosmic Intervention, you get the Elves, you get the new reprints, you get Golgari, Fire Marshal, right? And you can do it all for right around or less than $50. And if you're in Canada, you can go to fusiongamingonline.com and use CCO Fusion 5 to get an additional 5% off that and help your boys out by letting Fusion know that their partnership with CCO is a good one.
Which it totally is, because we're great, you're great, and it never hurts to tell them that.
That's right. Big thank you finally to all the Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Plenty of great benefits, including having your names featured on the Commander Cookout YouTube channel.
Berber.